Hold on. I have always been a jester. I have always been a jester. I have never been able to do anything structural. I have never been able to work a normal job because I can't bear systems, schedules. I have never been able to apply what intelligence I do have to structural problems. I can't. There's just something wrong with my brain where I can't compute structures, a linear progression, B follows from A and C follows from B. I've never been able to do that. I always jump around like a lunatic. And I've never been able to take anything seriously. I've never had any respect for anything. No matter where I was put or where I went, I always disrespected the place. Not even because I wanted to, it was just in my nature. I just couldn't do it. I went to a job. I quit after 5 shifts because I couldn't take it and I hated it and I thought it was useless. Why bother? I was put in schools. I couldn't bond with the others. I couldn't pay attention or do the schoolwork. I just didn't give a shit. I just couldn't do it. I didn't care. Thought it was useless and pointless and nothing in the world pushed me to do it. No matter, the jeopardy of my future didn't bother me. It wasn't a big enough motivator. And even now, when I'm faced with all these challenges, I hardly even care. I don't know why, but I just don't care. I have problems and I'm not fixing them. If there was a fucking dagger over my head, I would just keep walking. And I would only start caring if it was about to fall. As long as it's above me, hovering above me, I care not. I don't learn the lessons that life teaches. In fact, I find the lessons that life teaches oppressive. Because I just do. Life teaches you a lesson. Well, I just see it as a threat, like being whipped by a slave master. I don't appreciate it, or I'm not thankful for them. Everything bothers me. I see threats everywhere. Not enough to do something about them, but I see threats everywhere I go. It's a very strange worldview that is really hard to justify logically. I could justify it through my own logic, but I don't know if that's good enough. It's just there's a feeling I'm trying to get across, which is that, I walk around in here and I see a spot that's more attractive. I walk over there and it's no longer satisfying. That might be a general point, but to me it's more acute. I see everything as kind of like a challenge or an obstacle. and none of them ever satisfy me when I get there. It's just one challenge after another, one hump after another, that you have to cross and jump over. A hurdle. So that even though I'm standing here and talking, it seems pointless. And I don't really enjoy it. But I don't know what else to do. If I don't talk, I don't enjoy that either. If I talk, I don't enjoy that either. Because I'm not satisfied with my performance in the video. I know it's just not good enough, and I don't know how to make it good enough. I feel like nothing I say is good enough. The way I say it is not good enough. So I'm just standing there because I don't know what else to do. It happens because nothing else can. You know? That's the feeling that I'm trying to get across. Many of you, if you're watching this, you probably have this. If you're watching this at all, it's this feeling that, the feeling of the void, the feeling that, but it's even more peculiar than that. It's just the feeling that you feel very strange, but at the same time, very sad, but at the same time, you always feel a kind of warmth, like something is gonna happen, something is happening, like you feel connected to the world, but at the same time, you feel completely removed from it. That's the feeling I'm talking about, is this eternal wandering. Where you look over there and you're like, oh, I want to go there, it looks nice, and you go there and it feels like something's happening, but nothing's happening at the same time. You know, it's very difficult to describe, but only some of you will understand this. Most of you have no idea what that means, I'm sure, or maybe to a basic level, because this satisfaction shoots through the whole of life. But for people like me, I feel like it's a little different. There's a kind of emotional depth to it, constant emotional depth. You know, which doesn't mean I'm better. It's just, it just feels kind of intensified. But even though I'm standing here, because the phone is propped up against the branch. In this forest, it feels like nothing is happening, and nothing could possibly happen. It's happening, and it's not happening, and I don't know what the fuck to do. I could walk over there, and I feel like nothing would change at all. A wandering spirit, and I'm trying to explain what that means. I feel like I'm coming up short each time. The sun is going down and shining against my face, and it feels kind of good. But I have to talk, even though I don't want to talk and I don't know what to say, even though I want to talk. And the words just keep coming out, and all of this sounds profound and doesn't. But if I don't do it, so what? That doesn't help. You know, they have the saying, this proverb, I don't know how to pronounce it. Proverb, I don't know. Proverb, that this quip, that, you know, if had you stayed quiet, you would be that much wiser. I don't think that's true. You'd be just as dumb. Only in the eyes of others would you have changed. Who cares about the eyes of others? You are the only eye that matters. The eye and the eye. To you, nothing else matters to you. It just doesn't. You see everything through your own eyes, and nothing else could possibly matter to you. all you have to do is understand that fact, and you might just be saved, or I don't know, maybe not. At least feel a little bit better. That if you just stop caring about it, it sort of goes away. You know, for example, I could stand here. I really am standing. Uh, Look, I don't know it's a fucking, I don't know how to prove it. I mean, you can look at the height of this tree over there. Uh, I really, and so I could stand here and I could start complaining. Oh, look at my eye bags, my fucking fat face, blah blah blah. Terrible, terrible, terrible. What will the others think? But the fact is, if I just stop giving a shit, it doesn't matter anymore. That you people have no power over me, as long as I don't care. It reminds me, I was reading this there's a fucking something crawling, probably. Uh, what do you call that? Fucking chrysalis. Anyway, I was reading this Wikipedia article again. I known about it before, where this guy was pressed to death by a bunch of heavy stones as a punishment for something he did. I don't remember what he did. And he would say, "Add more weight." Right. So so they were basically fishing for. They were trying to beat a confession out of him. It was basically torture. And he just wouldn't give the confession. He would just say, "Add more weight. Add more weight." Right. That's balls. That's what it takes. So that there's nothing they can do to you. Very difficult to accomplish, if not impossible. But you could maybe exercise that to a smaller extent. Another quip, proverb, as not proverb, I guess. Well, I don't know what it is, a phrase. It's from Heisenberg, from Breaking Bad, I mean, where he says, apply yourself, because he used to be this stick up his ass teacher, and a student would turn in a shitty paper. He would write down, apply yourself on the side, on the margins, So that would be his advice. We jot it down. And that's a very good piece of advice, because apply yourself doesn't mean apply yourself to everything, conquer the world. It just means exhaust your possibilities, your probable capacities, and see where it leads. And that's no bullshit. That's no motivational speech. That's just straight up advice. It's good. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to accede to what you think you should do or what others think you should do. You simply can just talk into a camera. And if that's all you can do, that's all you can do. You don't do it because you're a perfectionist. That doesn't help. Does not help. I can tell you, I spent a lot of time. I'm doing something funny with this plant over here. But anyway, look. Alright. Sorry, just too funny. But oh, shit. Hold on, I have to fix this. I need to be able to fix this. With the fucking branch. Alright, that's okay. There's a little 3D to it. Yeah, so you don't have to exhaust your possibilities. So yeah, I was talking about how, I spent a lot of years just in my own head, never putting myself out there at all. And in my head, of course, I was perfect. If I imagined myself doing something, it would be perfect. The moment you start doing it, actually, you'll find out it's not nearly as good as you thought it was gonna be. So, one thing you cannot do if you wanna be something or accomplish something is to just do nothing and keep it in your head. That's not gonna do much. Not do anything. You do have to get it out. Write it down, say it, speak it, shit it out. Do something with it. Keeping it inside is nothing. You need to be able, and that's a scary process, but you need to be able to wean yourself off your own bullshit, your own idea of perfection. It's gonna hurt, but you gotta do it if you wanna do something. Keeping it inside is useless. That's cheating. You're pretending to be perfect, but you're not. Right? Like you probably do this where you like have an argument in your head with someone. I'm really gonna show him. And then when you actually would do it, he would beat you up. So stop pretending you're perfect. It's like talking in English. It's not my first language, so it always bothers the fuck out of me that I can't speak perfectly and without a foreign accent. But I don't like to say that because if somebody shows up in the comments and says, "But I think your English is good," I don't want to hear that. That does me no good. It's just there's a kind of shame to it. But anyway. So you probably do it in your head, thinking that you're perfect, just really believing your own horseshit. I lost a lot of opportunities and money because I imagined that I was perfect. One time I had $1 million in crypto. Twice, but I refused to sell. So I ended up with much, 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 much less. Many of us have lost tremendous opportunities because we thought we were the shit. Go rogue or go home, everything or nothing. See, the thing with that is that I respect that attitude. There's a slight problem with that attitude, though. If you want to live, it probably does not work because it's too much a risk. And if you get everything, you'll just be bored again. I can tell you. You want to get laid, you get laid, okay, whatever. You get a fucking blowjob or something, and it doesn't feel like anything because you're too sensitive or something. Or if it does feel like something, you're like, okay, it was nice, but now what? Like even if something nice happens, you eat your fucking food. You get what you want. You get money. You get food. You get a girlfriend, a boyfriend, or whatever, and you fuck and you do this and you do that, and every single time the end result is now what? Life always occurs in the in-between, in the pendulum, like swinging back and forth. When a hypnotist tries to hypnotize you, it's a pendulum swinging back and forth. It always happens in the in-between, never in the finish line. So the all or nothing philosophy simply doesn't do you much unless you want to finish. But when you finish, it's just gonna start again. You know, you have to. There's just nothing you can do if you want to live. It's just always an intermediate state. It never finishes. It's never complete. You never really get what you want. So that's a piece of advice to get rid of the perfectionism that might haunt you. Just stop. You're not as good as you think. You're not as perfect as you think. You're as smart as you think. You're not. None of that. If you're in your head and you don't actually do it, there's virtually no chance. that you're as good as you think you are. So put it out, quit, forget about it, and do something. And when you do something, it might be a good thing or a bad thing, I don't know. Like I said at the beginning, for me, I can't fucking do anything, it seems. I always gave the impression of somebody staring in, watching other people do things. Being in the night, raining, and you're looking in to all the others. I've never been able to do anything structural, long, always just give up. That just seems to be my nature. I don't know how to fix it. Yeah, I don't really have any advice for that because I have no idea how to fix it. Maybe it's a matter of ADHD and you go on meds and you're gonna be okay. But I don't like going to doctors. It's too much hassle. I don't want to go anywhere. I'm just gonna order KFC and hopefully, eat it. That's my plan. I write also, but I don't really have any other plans. Just eat KFC, write, jerk off. I don't got nothing in terms of plans. I have no advice. I don't know how to fix it. I don't have no advice for a healthy life. Other people have already said to eat your veggies and sleep enough, but it doesn't do any good to the person who cannot do those things. And he will be told that, you're just making excuses. There's no such thing as an excuse. It's just cause and effect. You really might not just be able to do it because you're kind of fucked in the head, and they never get to the heart of the issue. They always just keep saying, well, if you can do that, then you can do this. If you can do this, then you can do the third thing. So it's kind of an abusive kind of structure of advice because they just keep deferring the problem. Right? You're depressed, go to a doctor. Can't go to a doctor because you're depressed, and fucking muster up the courage to do it. Can't muster up the courage, well, try. If people are useless. One thing I really hate is when somebody pretends it's all your fault, where, in some sense it might be, but then again, the world is difficult and sometimes you just can't fucking do it. It's just a fact, you can't do it. The world has assembled in such a way that you cannot do it, you cannot defeat it. And I have much sympathy for that, as I am myself a person like that. Of course, it's a scale. Some people do it worse than others. Some people die in the end because they can't take it anymore. It is what it is. I have no advice. I don't know how to fix it. It's just a message of sympathy and empathy. Yeah. Forget it. Bye.